I went into retention when I was 18 years old. Just all of a sudden ended up in hospital, didn't know why it happened, and I've been unable to empty urine out of my bladder ever since, not even a drop. They then done various tests on me to try and figure out exactly what was causing it, and they couldn't pinpoint one problem. There was quite a few different things going on at once, one being like a pelvic epilepsy, which then made it extremely hard for me to do any self-catheterisation because I just couldn't tolerate the catheters going in urethrally. And I ended up with a suprapubic, and at this time I didn't know anything about the mitrophanol at all, and I was told by my surgeon the only long-term operation I could have was a stoma, a urostomy, and at the age of, I must have been 19 at the time, it was just too much for me. But I also knew I couldn't keep going on with these infections and the indwelling catheter because they were becoming more and more resistant to antibiotics, so I needed a solution. And it just so happened that I was on a board for bladder and bowel patients when Kyla contacted me and said they were running an open day for an operation. This was the first open day, and I went along to it just thinking, oh, maybe this could be something I could have done. I didn't know much about it, and the education day taught me a lot, and I managed to pluck up the courage because I was quite shy back then. I plucked up the courage to talk to Dan, and he said, you know, I have a right as a patient to decide what I want to do, and that I decided to go forward with the mitrophanol. But there was such a lack of information back then that if it wasn't for Kyla contacting me, I wouldn't have known about the procedure, and I don't know what position I'd have been in right now, so I'm very grateful. It's just changed my life to think what could have happened if I didn't go to that open day, if I didn't kind of pluck up the courage to go along. I wouldn't have known about the procedure, and that's why I just think it's so important that everyone else who's thinking of having it done comes along, because it teaches you so much, and you know what's right and wrong for you, and if you walk away and think, no, it's not the right thing for me, then it doesn't matter. But it gave me the chance to really find out what was best for my future. I'm now the patient ambassador for the charity, which is such an honour because I haven't really done much to kind of get there, except that I've just wanted to give something back to the charity since day one, because of how grateful I am at everything the charity's done for me. So I've attended most of the open days. I've done a speech at one of them, and I was just so honoured when Kyla asked me to be patient ambassador. And when Janelle asked me to be ambassador for international ambassador for Australia, it's so overwhelming, and I'm extremely proud to think how far that I've come since I was 19, all because of the mitrophanol procedure. I think it can only get bigger. The operation is becoming more and more popular. More surgeons are starting to do the operation. I've noticed that there are a lot more people coming forward as pre-op patients, and this support is just brilliant for them. It was for me too. And because the information is getting out to more people, the charity can only start helping more and more, which I think is just so brilliant.